Aloha, everyone, and welcome back to the program. You know, it seems like there's royalty everywhere nowadays. Kings left and right. You have Richard Petty, you have the king of rock and roll, Elvis Presley, and of course, the original kings of comedy. But if I asked you to name the three kings of the blues, could you do it? Actually, if you're watching this program, you probably can. I'm Steve Murray, and this is the worst program on the internet, The Blues. And of course, when we're talking about the three kings of the blues, that's quite naturally is Albert King, B.B. King, and Freddie King. Now, B.B. King we talked about in episode 3, and Albert King we'll get to soon enough. But I did want to spend some time today talking about the great Freddie King, who was born September 3rd, 1934 in Gilmer, Texas. Freddie started playing the guitar when he was 6 years old, and he and his family moved to Chicago when he was just a teenager. And as a young man, Freddie King did, I guess, what we would all like to do: sneak into blues clubs. And there he saw, well, he just saw the greats, to be honest with you. People like Muddy Waters, Willie Dixon, Sonny Boy Williamson, Elmer James, T-Bone Walker, and the like. So these great artists were kind of an inspiration and an education for the young Freddie King. At the age of 18, Freddie King did form his first band. They were called the Every Hour Blues Boys. Kind of catchy, right? And a year later, he finally got an opportunity to record for the first time. So this would have been 1953 with Parrot Records. Now, those recordings were never released, so we don't really know what they sound like. Also, right around this time frame as well, he got the opportunity to record with Cobra Records. Now, this was set up by Willie Dixon. Cool, right? And those recordings, I guess they've never been heard. That's the definition that I've seen. So I don't know if that means that recordings were made. Maybe they were test recordings. Maybe he just came in and performed live in front of record executives. Can't say for sure, but it'd be nice to hear those things, wouldn't it? And as the 1950s progressed, Freddie King kind of started making his way up the blues hierarchy in the city of Chicago. As we talked about in episode 2, Muddy Waters was the king of the Chicago blues scene, right? If you wanted to make it in the blues, you wanted to be a friend of Muddy Waters, you wanted to play with Muddy Waters. And as Freddie, again, rose up the ranks, he started to play with a lot of the musicians that Muddy Waters helped to make famous. Guitar players like Jimmy Rogers, Robert Jr. Lockwood, Hound Dog Taylor, and Eddie Taylor as well. The bass player Willie Dixon, we just talked about him. Also, pianist Memphis Slim and harmonica player Little Walter. So, again, Freddie King, he's feeling his oats. He's getting more recognized as a musician, and because of that, now he can start playing with these great artists. And at this time, just like any other young blues musician, Freddie wanted to sign with Chess Records because that was the dominant label in the blues scene. Unfortunately, there was a problem. Chess executives thought Freddie King's vocal style was too similar to B.B. King. B.B. King at the time was signed to Chess Records. Also, the similarities in the last name, well, actually the same last names, I think they just felt at that point it was just too confusing. Same name, similar vocal sound, so they repeatedly rejected Freddie King's advances and attempts to sign with the label. But in 1959, Freddie King finally did sign with a label, that being Federal Records, where he recorded his first single, that was Have You Ever Loved a Woman? And at that same recording session, he also recorded his biggest hit, the instrumental Hideaway. Now, Hideaway was not released until the next year, but Hideaway became it rose to number 5 on the Billboard R&B charts and then number 20 on the pop charts. And this kind of is where a lot of this started for Freddie King, where he was able to have a foot in different sort of areas. So he had a foot in the blues and a foot in pop music, right? He had the foot in the Texas blues scene and the Chicago blues scene as well. And the instrumental songs really kind of became a calling card, I guess, of sorts for Freddie King. He recorded 30 of them. The names are kind of fun as well. You had The Stumble, Just Pickin'. You have Sensation. Now that's spelled Sensashun. You had Sidetrack, San Jose, again, fun spelling, Sanhozay, High Rise, and The Sad Night Owl, just some of his instrumental tracks. And after his recording contract with Federal Records expired, Freddie decided to relocate, move back down to Dallas, Texas. There he was signed by Atlantic Records, and he recorded two really cool albums. One is called Freddie King is a Blues Master, and he was, by the way, and also My Feelings for the Blues. Sorry. So that would have been 68 and 69. Also during that time frame is when he played in the Texas International Pop Festival. Now, I don't mean to go on some old man get off my lawn ramble, but this lineup, you don't really see these sorts of concerts anymore. Not probably for a long time. Yes, there's still festivals and things like this, but in the 1960s, late 1960s, record executive, radio stations, producers, musicians, they tried to really mix up the bills on either whether it was a festival or just a concert. So they were trying to schedule, for instance, a popular band, maybe Jefferson Airplane, a concert along with a blues artist or a jazz artist. So the audience got introduced to new music. And the 69 International, or the Texas International Pop Festival, check this out. Canned Heat. Chicago. Try that again. Canned Heat. Chicago, then known, of course, as the Chicago Transit Authority. James Cotton, Delaney and Bonnie and Friends. I'm not too sure if Clapton was involved with them at that time or not. Grand Funk Railroad. Remember, Grand Funk name dropped Freddie King in their hit, It's American Band, right? You remember the line? Up All Night with Freddie King. I got to tell you, poker's his thing. Janis Joplin was there, B.B. King, Led Zeppelin, Sam and Dave, Santana, John Sebastian, Sly and the Family Stone with actually an old buddy of mine, Jerry Martini on saxophone, Spirit, 10 Years After, and Johnny Winters. The 3-day festival drew about 120,000 fans for the high daily price of $6.50. And again, this helped Freddie King keep his feet in different genres as well. And as the 70s rolled on, Freddie King stayed just busy as all hell, playing about 300 shows a year. And after a while, it really started to take its toll on his health. The touring, the stress, just the hard living resulted in him developing stomach ulcers in 1976. Some months later, in December of that year, Freddie King would die from acute pancreatitis. He was just 42 years old. And like most of the musicians we featured on this channel, Freddie King's impact in his music far surpasses his time here on Earth. He was inducted into the Blues Hall of Fame in 1982 and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2012. His song Hideaway was included in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's list of 500 songs that shape rock music. He influenced everybody. Clapton, Mick Taylor, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Lonnie Mack, Peter Green, Jeff Beck, Mick Taylor, and on and on. He was ranked number 15th on Rolling Stone's 100 Greatest Guitarists list. And as far as those instrumental songs we talked about just a moment ago, they were really instrumental in the development of surf music in the 1960s. Again, one artist, feet in very different camps. Now, typically on this program, we'll introduce an artist, play a song that's somewhere between 4 to 7, 8 minutes long, and then kind of let you on your way. The only difference was really the first one involving Robert Johnson, because the songs were so short, 2.5 minutes, we played 2 tracks. Again, just to kind of give you a good introduction. For this program, I wanted to do something just a little bit different. Instead of just really kind of featuring an artist, I really wanted to feature an artist song. And of course, in this case, it was Hideaway. And really the reason for that, earlier today, actually, I was watching Rick Beto's YouTube channel. I'll put a link to his channel below, but if you're a fan of music, check out Rick Beto. He's a producer, engineer, I don't know, an arranger, a multi-instrumentalist, and he's just got a great music YouTube channel. And I was watching his interview with Joe Bonamassa earlier today, and when Joe's talking about his development as a guitar player, he's talking about and playing parts of the song Hideaway. And it got me thinking of an earlier Stevie Ray Vaughan interview where he also talked about and started playing Hideaway as an introduction to his style. So I figured, let's play Hideaway. It's not a long track. It's a little over 2 minutes long. And it comes from some cool television show, I think probably late 1960s. I don't really know for sure, to be honest with you. The sets, designs, and the outfits definitely scream late 60s. The host, he's just this cool cat introducing the band and stuff. So I figured, what the hell? Let's go ahead. Let's feature Hideaway. Let's hear this one short track that has just had an outsized impact on music history. So, here, let me, as they say in the business, put the cans on so I can actually listen to it with you. And we're going to listen to Freddie King playing Hideaway.
It's one of the swingingest things I ever heard. It was called Hideaway. Could you do it for us tonight?
Right.
Go, man.
Go, man. Love this shift. So the tempo change changes the whole mood. See, you can hear that where Stevie Ray Vaughan gets it, right? This is it. We talked about the surf music. This is it. There it is, Freddie King and Hideaway from some groovy television program in the late 1960s. I really hope you enjoyed that one. Yeah, it's just a lot of fun. You can hear the different influences that people took from that. I mentioned Stevie Ray Vaughan and the surf music as well. The band's hot. They're having a great time. And I really hope, truthfully, that the backup dancers for this show are just like credited as groovy chicks, because that would just be perfect. So Freddie King and Hideaway, I hope you did like that. Now, of course, here's the time where we always beg, right? Do me a favor, would you please? If you can, go ahead, click the like button and subscribe as well. I'd like to make sure you're keeping up to date with all the different artists we're portraying here. Also, don't forget is to, drop me a line, shoot me a note, let me know what you're thinking. And of course, if you're ever looking for more poorly produced online content, remember, worst program on the internet, The Blues, coming shortly as well. So I'm Steve Murray. I want to thank you once again for staying with me, and we'll see you next time.